Namaskar. Of course, our distinguished guests on the dais, Sri Mahendra Mishra ji, Padma Shri Awardee, Dr. Jerath, Professor Meghnathan, and Dr. Dheer Jingran ji. Thank you very much. It's a privilege to be here amongst all our distinguished guests, educators, and friends here. We've had some very thought-provoking addresses before this, and they're very technical, and I think they provide the academic underpinning for whatever we are doing in this sector. But I just want to say one thing first. We are all a very proud, multilingual society, country, nation, communities. And we are multilingual unconsciously or consciously. If I just take my own example, when I needed to use language cutting across generations, so my grandparents would have spoken Bhojpuri and Avdi. My parents will be speaking Hindi and English. Educationally, English has always been the medium of instruction. I have been posted to Karnataka, and therefore for both livelihood as well as settling in a new state, I have learned Kannada. So I know a number of languages, and I have also learned Sanskrit as a third language. So, unconsciously I have got English, Hindi, Sanskrit, Kannada, Bhojpuri, all of them are there in my unconscious brain. Some of them I use, some of them I don't use. Obviously, now I am in Delhi. Kannada is not something which I'm frequently using. I don't go to the shops and use that language or, communicate in that. So therefore, yes, I have, those skills have rusted. But my point is that we are all, each person in this room, if they just examine the kind of communication tools, language tools that they are using, you will find that you are actually much beyond one language. You are, you are all multilingual. And I think the academic ecosystem has, it's a little delayed. We are catching up. I won't say delayed because it has always been there. I think all our classrooms, all our teachers are well aware, and they are committed to ensuring that their children actually learn whatever subjects they are being taught. So we have always had multilingualism, but I think in the intellectual and the academic and research purposes, those things have come a little later perhaps, but it is definitely, I think it's a great honor and privilege that we have such organizations as LLF which are actually doing wonderful work. And I think the Teaching and Learning Practices Survey TLPS 2025 was one such thing. It provided an essential roadmap for the future of foundational learning in our country. Some of their findings were eye-opening. For instance, the fact that 73% of the teachers knew the children's home language, but only 10% of them were using them consistently to enhance children's participation and comprehension. So like I said, it is there. Every one of us are able to communicate in different languages, but perhaps we are not using them, or we are not acknowledging the use of these languages in a formal system. This particular study was conducted in 9 Indian states, 21 districts, and 1,050 classrooms. Congratulations to Dr. Dheer Jingran ji as well as the entire LLF team for bringing out this vital report, but I hope that we also get a report for the remaining states as well, in our country. Similarly, we have the Multilingual Education in India, a process study of the Bastar MLE program. That's another one which I think has some of the findings that have been discussed critically for the classroom environment, which was also mentioned earlier. That also is very, very important, because what has it, there are some things which have come out in that particular study also. And one of the findings I found very heartening. that the initial surveys actually showed that many teachers resisted using L1 in their classrooms. But after all, the evolution and the evolving brief that they have found is that after the data collection exercise and all was over, 90% of the teachers showed an openness to use L1 in their classroom. So it is, as has already been mentioned, it's a question of simply acceptance and appreciation. There is the resistance is, I would say any resistance is actually superficial, because in our hearts we do acknowledge different languages and we acknowledge their needs. Ultimately, if it is also a question of necessity and need. If I need to communicate with my grandparents, then I have to use that language. Otherwise, I'm missing out on a whole, whole set of learning. If I have to communicate for my livelihood, if I am from Rajasthan and I go to Karnataka, I need to know the language to sell my product. So, this is a need that is there. And finally, in education itself, how do I understand basic foundational learning and numeracy concepts, and how do I graduate to advanced concepts? So I think we need not, consider this, and I think it has already been mentioned. It is not a burden, and we should not think of multilingualism as a barrier. It is actually a door which opens opportunities for all, not just for the children, but also for the teachers, for being effective teachers that are there. We, it's not just that multilingualism is a classroom strategy or a policy requirement. This fundamental potential that we have to generate is also critical for our economy. Switzerland, for instance, it also has a multilingual nature, and it actually has been documented that their GDP is augmented by the multilingual nature of their society by a staggering 10%. So just think, when we look at it just from the educational perspective, we should also be looking at it with a holistic and comprehensive approach that is there. It helps our economy, it helps migration, it helps understanding of our different communities that are there in the country, and helps to integrate all of us together. So economically, socially, culturally, these multilingualism is the need of the hour. It's not something which is a luxury. It's not something which is an add-on. It's actually inherent in our structures, in whatever we are doing. This is exactly why our National Education Policy 2020 and the National Curriculum Frameworks have reiterated the benefits. Research clearly indicates that exposure to multiple languages in oral form provides significant cognitive and socio-economic stimulation. This is the research part of it. This is, what we are getting, but our own common sense and our practical experience also tells us that there are significant benefits. By giving central importance to the mother tongue, we are promoting a cognitive flexibility and cultural unity. This particular vision of the national education policy cannot be achieved unless we have in two particular directions. One is, of course, attitudes, which we are constantly trying to, the behavioral change, we are trying to implement that. But we also have resources. We need resources. We cannot, I think there was a beautiful picture of, in the last address, Professor Meghnathan had shown a teacher, and who has different aspects. Now there are different aspects, but we have to support the teacher also. We need to invest in their resources. We need to invest in the capacity building that is there. I'm very glad that there are many people who are here from the SCRTs as well as the diets, because you are the ones who have to support teachers both through capacity building as well as development of resources. And I know that the diets are crucial. Some of the diets that I have visited in Odisha, Maharashtra, Gujarat, they have developed beautiful resource material for particular areas for their own districts, integrating both art as well as the language that is there. Uh, Dedicated work of the NCRT has to be acknowledged, because beyond theory and practice, we have actually gone into the resources. The first step was actually the 121 multilingual primers across 104 languages, including 93 tribal languages. Now, these resources are available via the official NCRT portal. They are resources which are available for teachers, and especially for teachers who keep, teaching in our country, especially the government teachers. It is a transferable job. So even a person who goes from, say, and I'm going to be repeating the example of Karnataka because it is familiar to me, but I can give the same example for a state like Andhra Pradesh, or any state which borders different, dominant language states. So you have Odisha in the north, they may be looking at, some of the tribal languages, Bengali. With Andhra Pradesh, they have Telugu. So there are a lot of languages, especially for the bordering states, and teachers are getting posted to those areas. If they are in the primary stages, if they are in the foundational stages, these primers would be of great help, because they must be able to communicate with the child. If today I walk into a movie theater where a French movie is, French film is being screened, and if there are no subtitles, I will be lost. So do we want our children to go into classrooms on a daily basis and be lost? So you have to understand, a small impressionable child, teachers, it is their responsibility, and we are also enabling them by providing such resources as the multilingual primers. We have, of course, our PM Vidya channels. We have Diksha, which is the digital infrastructure for knowledge sharing. It supports 36 Indian languages as well as 7 foreign languages that are there. Digital textbooks, resources, learning materials in different languages. Diksha also has something called the Nishtha, that is the teacher's capacity building integrated into it. So Nishtha also supports all these languages. Every year we have, since the last year, and now this is our second edition, we have got the one more Bharatiya Bhasha Camp. This is a unique initiative which is organized during the summer vacations. Last year, over 5 crore, almost 6 crore children had participated in this. And for 1 week, 28 hours, they were actually introduced to a language which was not taught in the school. It's a community exercise because parents and all were all involved in it. Similarly, this year we also intend to bring out a Learn One More Bharatiya Bhasha for teachers, a capacity building exercise for teachers, which is of course voluntary, but you can learn another language. It is through an online mode, and it would be a more formalized course, but we would also be coming out with that. NEOS and NCRT are of course partners and collaborating in this particular venture. Technologically, we have used Anuvadini and Bhashini for ensuring that our resource material is translated quickly, and even our AI-driven initiatives all access Anuvadini and Bhashini. So initiatives like the E-Jadui Pitara or others which are coming out, Guru Mitra, etc., we are doing that. Indian Sign Language, because ultimately inclusivity is also an important tenet of our national education policy. Indian Sign Language is very much critical to ensuring that even children who cannot access these regular resources will be able to access our resource material through the Indian Sign Language, which also has a dedicated channel on PM Vidya. This is not to say that the states are at all behind. Assam and Mizoram have actually set a benchmark by introducing bilingual textbooks for mathematics and science, which means, one page, one language, one page, another language. This is to ensure that any learning gap is easily bridged, not just with the help of the teacher, but also with the help of the textbook. Jharkhand and Orissa primary education is being imparted in over 20 tribal languages. Why I'm giving these examples is because many of us are hesitant, hesitant not because we are reluctant, hesitant because we do not know how to go about it. Such kind of research is critical, that the two reports that are there or best practices by other states offer us a pathway. And those of us who are not aware of how to go about it, maybe we are very willing, but we don't know how to go about it. There are good practices which are prevailing in different states. They are tailored to their own requirements, to the requirements of their communities. And I'm sure that the panel discussions which will be there will help each one of you to actually take back something to your own states and implement it there also. Delhi and Rajasthan. Now, Delhi I will take up specifically because it is a melting pot. So you have children, and many of our metro cities today, whether it is Delhi or Bombay or there is a lot of migration, which means that there are children who are coming in whose mother tongue is not necessarily the state main state language. So linguistic mapping has been done in Delhi and Rajasthan, which has led to creation of storybooks and dictionaries. Similarly, Uttarakhand and Chhattisgarh have come out in specialized teaching materials in local dialects like Garhwali and Kumauni. The translation of NCERT textbooks has taken place. Multi-language activity banks are being developed in Karnataka, and all of these are prioritizing the fact that we need cognitive flexibility. CBSE, which is the national board of the country, Central Board of Secondary Education, has issued 3 different circulars, and they are also providing the pathway of how to actually implement the R1, R2, R3 framework that is there. That has also been spoken of, and R1, R2, R3 is a graded approach which also indicates the kind of proficiency that is to be achieved either by an age or by a stage. So age 11, 14, whatever are the ages and what are the classes. So whether it is class 8 or class 10, so those are also specified. We understand that assessment creates burdens on children, but language learning should not be a burden. So I think teachers also have to, teachers, educators must understand that language cannot become something which you have to keep on testing. Person can learn languages just through interaction and involvement. The studies also show when you learn a language through the language, typically what we try to do is we try to teach a language, say a different language, through English or through Hindi or through some other common language. But when we learn a language through that language itself, people can of course communicate better, understand better, but we need not expect standards which are of a literature level. Communication is the key. Communication is our objective. Understanding, appreciation should be the critical point that we are trying to emphasize. We have certain central schools which are there across the country, and they have a common curriculum and a standard. They have a common recruitment policy, which means that our teachers are coming from across the country, but they are being posted in different ways. But Navodaya Vidyalayas, you would all have heard of our JNVs, Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalayas. They have been implementing the 3-language formula for a very long time. Similarly, the Kendriya Vidyalayas, which are again, they are mostly catered to the transferable employees. But even there, we have made a number of mechanisms to ensure that the language priority of different sets of people are catered to. So while we do have teachers who are, for instance, in Tamil Nadu in Kendriya Vidyalaya, we have teachers who are going from the north, but we do try and ensure that they learn that particular Tamil, through virtual means, and we have tie-ups. Similarly, I would request that the states also have some, short-term programs so that the teachers are well acclimatized to the languages of that particular area. If students, more than 15 of them, wish to learn a particular language, that facility exists in both Navodaya Vidyalaya as well as Kendriya Vidyalaya. So if there are children who wish to learn, for instance, we had a recent demand for children who wish to learn Bodo, and there were more than 15 of them. We do make arrangements, whether they are contractual teachers or volunteer teachers. We do make that kind of arrangement. Another important central government institution is NIOS, that is the National Institute for Open Schooling. It offers 43 subjects in total at the secondary level, but out of that 20 are language subjects, Hindi, English, Gujarati, Kannada, Nepali, Malayalam, all of them are there. And at the senior secondary level, it offers 50 subjects which include 14 languages. These subjects are available for everybody. It is a question of today, NIOS is not just for young students, but also for lifelong learners. Last, I would just like to come that we are, NCTE, which is our regulator for the teachers' education, and our integrated teachers' education programs are also being delivered, transacted in different languages. Our common entrance tests are being conducted in different languages. Even our recruitment tests are actually being conducted in different. We give opportunity today. This is a new thing that we have started from this last cycle of recruitment. The point I'm trying to make is that, what I started off with, that languages are not just about, intergeographical or intergenerational understanding, but they also help our livelihood. We do not want language to become a barrier for any such thing, and that is why even our entrance exams or recruitment exams are of different languages, which means are offered in different languages, which means that you can also teach and help your children become, help their understanding, foster their understanding in different languages, because opportunities are there at all stages for the different languages. We are not content with just being a policy or something. This has to become a lived practice. It is something which has to be very much a part of our classrooms, our interactions, and something we cannot keep it as a separate structure. It is an integrated part of it. The hierarchy of languages was also mentioned. We don't need any such hierarchy for us. Mother tongues are at the center of our pedagogical ecosystem, and we are also securing the roots of our Indian knowledge systems, the integration of local wisdom, traditional crafts, indigenous philosophies through our different Bharatiya Bhasha ensures that our progress, economic progress, is also ensured at the same time by creating capabilities within the children to even be globally competitive. And in this, I would once again reiterate at the last that the convergence of technology, AI tools, institutional reforms, structural reforms in your own systems are very critical. No learner should be left behind, and we must leverage all our resources, whether digital or physical, and we must create this seamless bridge between all of them. Thank you very much. It has been a pleasure, and I wish this conference, this seminar, all the very best. Thank you.